I just watched Jurassic World Rebirth, and as someone who's been a fan of this franchise from the beginning, I went in with both excitement and caution. And honestly, it's better than I expected. Not a masterpiece, but definitely a step up compared to some of the recent entries. Right off the bat, the film brings back that intense survival vibe that made the original movies so gripping. There's this eerie silence in some scenes, followed by sudden chaos. And that formula still works. The suspenseful jungle setting, unpredictable attacks, and the feeling that no one is truly safe adds a layer of tension that keeps you hooked through most of the runtime. What really stood out to me is how grounded the movie feels. While it does have big action set pieces, it doesn't go overboard with nonstop explosions or mindless spectacle. Instead, it slows down when needed, letting the fear and tension build naturally. That pacing actually gives the characters time to breathe and develop, which has been missing from the last couple of films. Now, I've got to say, one of the biggest reasons I was hyped for this movie was Scarlett Johansson, and she did not disappoint. She brings a strong, confident energy to the screen, but also shows vulnerability when it matters. Her character has depth, and you genuinely care about what happens to her. She's not just there to look cool, she acts, and that makes a huge difference. The rest of the cast is solid too. A few characters feel underused, but overall, the performances are pretty strong. Visually, the movie looks great. The dinosaurs are impressive, especially in the practical effects moments. You can tell there was more effort in blending practical and CGI this time, which makes the creatures feel more real. The environments are lush and immersive, and some of the nighttime scenes are genuinely creepy in a good way. That said, the movie isn't without its flaws. The plot, while decent, isn't particularly fresh. There are a few familiar beats, like the typical rescue gone wrong and corporate greed leads to chaos tropes that we've seen before. And there's a side story involving a family that doesn't quite land. It feels like filler more than something that pushes the main narrative forward. Also, a couple of the new dinosaur designs felt a bit too sci-fi rather than prehistoric, which might take some people out of the immersion. What I appreciated, though, is that the film doesn't lean too heavily on nostalgia. There are nods here and there, but they're subtle. This movie tries to stand on its own rather than ride the coattails of the original trilogy. And in that sense, it mostly succeeds. It feels like a rebirth, not just in name, but in how it approaches the franchise's tone. So what's my honest verdict? Jurassic World Rebirth is a solid return to form. It's not groundbreaking, and it has its rough patches, but it brings back the tension, the grounded fear, and the sense of scale that made the original movies special. If you're a longtime fan like me, or just someone looking for a good adventure thriller, it's definitely worth a watch, especially in theaters. Just don't go in expecting something revolutionary. It's more of a course correction than a reinvention, but that alone makes it worth appreciating.